Hello and welcome to an interview. I'm absolutely buzzing to be holding. I'm interviewing Jack and Ali from the Last Pioneers. Thank you very much for coming on, guys.
No problem. Thanks for
Thank
having
you for
us.
having us. Good morning.
So we're going to start off a bit of the background of the band. So, what's the main selling point of the band, and what sets you out from the rest?
I think funnily enough, we were talking about this at our gig last night. We think our biggest selling point is our versatility. I think a lot of bands get kind of caught up in not being the same per se, but sort of fit into a mold,
Mm.
um, and writing tunes that all fit to that mold. Whereas I think one of our biggest selling points is that we've got quite a lot of strings to our bow. We can do the slower songs, we can do the heavier upbeat songs, and we can do that little bit in between as well. Um, so I think that's one of our major selling points, and I think especially live, it's the crowd interaction. I think that's what we focus all our energy into, is making sure that the crowd are involved as much as possible. Sing-alongs, dancing, whatever it might be. Um, just trying to make sure that they go home thinking we've got our money's worth.
Anything to add, Ali?
I mean, Jack always hits the nail on the head. Yeah, we are very versatile in our genres, and I think a lot of it comes from our backgrounds and influences as well. I think Jack he sort of progressed his career on the singer-songwriter side, and I think Josh kind of came with that alternative prog element. That's what he's always been into, and I think a lot of that has infused, and you hear in a lot of the later tracks. But the fact that we're able to strip back to that singer songwriter and a lot more literally stringy songs. I grew up in orchestras, and it's nice to be able to mold all of those different styles and use of instruments and tones as well. You hear a lot of different styles in each song. We kind of go down the disco route a lot, and that comes with the styles of playing as well, particularly the way I play the bass or the way that Jack uses the guitar. We utilize everything to the max, and that's what makes it really interesting.
And how did you all meet? Is it a long sort of relationship, or is it quite recent?
It's been different stages, hasn't it? So me
Yeah.
and Ali were the first two. I was a solo artist at the time, just going under my own name. And I was shooting it was like a Johnny Cash style music video. And I needed someone who played double bass at the time. Um, and got recommended Ali by a friend of a friend. Um, and then the music video shoot went really well. I said to Ali, well, would you be interested in sort of playing bass full time for me at the time? And then we got Josh in to audition as well. And then we went out for a year and a half, maybe, before
It was
COVID.
up until Yeah, it was up until COVID, and we were talking about how we might be able to expand the band a bit, wasn't it? Expand the group, and we started doing auditions for lead guitar,
Yeah,
which
that's
was
where we
really
got Anton.
awkward. Yeah, it was awkward for me at the time though, because I just had an accident with my knee and I couldn't be there for the audition. So I had to like, trust you and Josh for some of the auditions. And yeah, you knew Anton. Josh knew him though, didn't he, from
Yeah, they
school and
went to the
whatnot?
same school, so it
Mm,
was one of them where Anton, I think Anton had got in contact with Josh actually,
yeah.
um, and said, "Oh, I'd really like to come down and audition." He was really nervous as well, weren't he? He thought we were. I mean, it's great, but he thought we were a lot bigger than we actually were. So, so he came in really nervous. The one thing we had to get out of him is massive McFly fan, Anton is. And he was doing in the audition, he was doing these like star jumps that McFly do, and I said, "Mate, you're gonna have to cut that out." Like, it wasn't good at all. And then he's got better, hasn't he? Bless him. His stage presence.
That's it.
It still needs a little bit of tweaking here and there, but it's got better. But that's how we all met, and then we've been the same sort of band for 4 years now, 4 or 5 years,
Yeah,
and then
girls will fight it.
changed to the Last Pioneers at the end of last year, and then released Square One, which you can see in the background in the frame over there. Released that in May this year. Is that right? Yeah.
No.
And is there a story behind the name The Last Pioneers?
There wasn't at the time. We wanted to try and attach some sort of meaning to it, and we do think it really suits us in the fact that we wanted to go for a name that sort of fitted the style that we all sort of dress in and present ourselves in. Um, but also we wanted something that kind of fit the style of the authenticity that we bring, similar to what I was just saying to you about um, being authentic and being ourselves. I think our music breathes that out. Um, and also it is that sort of digital age is getting rid of a lot of authenticity now. So we feel like the Last Pioneers kind of ties into that. With authenticity dying out, we're kind of the last of a dying breed. And I think in a few years' time that could kind of be gone, and this social media age of just showing the good parts of whatever it is you do, whether it's business or just life, will take over, and you'll never see any of these hardships anymore. And we want to make sure that we're still true and real to ourselves. That being in a band's not easy by any stretch of the imagination. So we want to make sure that people know that, but they're also there to share the good times with us as well.
100%. I've got a few icebreaker questions just about the band. So Jack, we'll start with you, and then we'll go into Ali. So who's the biggest diva in the band?
Uh, Josh.
And Ali, who would you say? If The Last Pioneers were a reality show, what would it be called?
Oh, that's a tough one. I feel like you could have sent me that question last night and I'd still be thinking of an answer. I really don't know.
I
Any
wouldn't be
idea,
able to.
Ali?
I wouldn't be able to think of a name, but if I were to, can I compare it to to
Yeah, yeah, go on.
something? I don't know. It's torn between Friends and Two Broke Girls. Like we're all friends, but also have no idea what we're doing, but we're doing it anyway.
I think it's more like a soap opera, like the amount of stuff that goes on. I feel like we like a Coronation Street or an Emma. Maybe not
No,
something that good, but like,
neighbours.
yeah, Neighbours. There you go.
Describe each other band member in 3 words.
Ooh. Anton's got to be something to do with being stupid, isn't it? He's not the sharpest tool in the box. Lovely but stupid. There we
Brilliant.
go. There's 3 words for Anton. Josh. These are tricky, you know. These are tricky. Ali's quite easy. She's always late.
Ooh, that is actually one of the questions on here. Who
I'm
is
not
always
even
I
late to
mean,
surprised.
sound check and
she's
everything?
nodding. She's nodding. She knows it's true. Um, and then kind of an inside joke about Josh is, you all right, mate?
Is
He
that one of his
always kind of
catchphrases or?
greets people in a really posh voice when he's got, it's similar to me, he's got a very thick black country accent, but he always greets people in a really posh voice. He's going to absolutely crucify me when he sees this, by the way.
Definitely have to show him that. And Ali, how would you describe each other band member in 3 words?
Jack, I'm gonna have to say, I'm gonna be like proper descriptive. I'm not gonna try and make a sentence of 3 words, but Jack, I'm gonna say he is organized. He is, I'm gonna say friendly, but I don't, what I should say is supportive. I should say supportive. I'll say the word supportive. And I will say hilarious, because you are, Jack. You always come up with some stupid stuff. Josh, I'm gonna say he is passionate. He is, I'll say motivated, but also I think I'm gonna use the word from before. He's a bit of a diva. And Anton, simple but brilliant. Um, I'm gonna say that Anton in the last word is. I'm not gonna say childish, but he's very youthful and very innocent. So innocent.
And who
Could
is the
make a
biggest
long list.
lightweight? Who's the biggest lightweight in the group?
Anton.
But yeah, it's got to be
At
Anton.
the moment, because Anton's been not drinking for 3 months, so he's just suddenly started drinking again. He had 3 beers the other day and he was wasted.
One
Oh
wind up and
God.
sniffing the barmaid's apron and he's on the floor. And
Who takes the longest to get ready?
ooh. The thing is, though, I genuinely don't think you take that long to get ready, Ali. I don't think any of us really do we? I think
I've
it's more
written
just
two
due to the fact
parts.
that you've got to do your makeup. But other than that,
Yeah, this is true. But I do it in two parts. Like I get ready as much as doing makeup, and then I do my makeup when I'm there. So I take two parts.
Who is secretly the best dancer in the group?
Josh,
Josh.
by a country mile as well. He used to do dance when he was growing up. Yeah. I don't think any of the rest of us can. I'm not sure about you, Ali, actually, but
I've got
I
two
know
left feet.
I definitely can't dance.
No, I can't.
Um, who is the mum slash dad of the group?
I'd say it's us two. You're definitely the mom. It's always, oh well, I bought this for us. I bought that for us. Does anyone want a drink? Whereas I think
Yeah,
I'm like the organised one that it's just like you need to be here at this time. If you're a minute late, that's not good enough. That's late.
you ground us if you could.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
We're going to go on to the creative process and sort of the evolution of the band. So, when writing a song, does it start with a lyric or a riff, a melody?
This is a question that we get asked quite a lot, and it does vary, doesn't it? Like quite drastically. Um, it just depends on which song it is. To be quite honest, sometimes you'll get like an odd lyric or two that comes to you, and you'll have it saved in like your notes or just written down somewhere, and you might not come back to it for about a year. And then sometimes you'll have a melody again, the same. You just store it, and you might not write that song straight away. It is so varied. I mean, Embers, which was one of the tunes that we kind of first really worked together as a band in the studio. That came from just a riff that I was playing around with for ages, and then got some lyrics to, and then Set Your Life on Fire, which is going to be potentially the next single that we release. Um, that came from lyrics to start with, and then I got a melody from God knows way back, and put that to that, and just match them up. And sometimes that's how it works. So it does vary so much. I'm not sure what other musicians tell you about that. I'd be really intrigued to know actually. Um,
Quite a few of them are like just varied. A lot of them are more melody based. How they start. I think the claws
it's
are mostly
interesting.
melody based.
It's something that I've done so many like deep dives into, um, and been a bit of a nerd about. So I just love songwriting, and I think it's so different for everyone, and that process is for some people it's quite rigid, and it is well this comes first, then this, then this, then this. But a lot of the people on our scene, especially that I've spoke to, are very much yeah. It varies. It just depends what song it is.
And you mentioned earlier the debut EP Square One is out and it came out in May. Just how's your thoughts on that and how do you find that little EP?
We were chuffed with it, weren't we? We were absolutely chuffed with it. It was sort of 2 years in the making. Um, Obviously, we'd changed the name sort of halfway through the process of recording the EP. So we had to have a little bit of a rethink, put a few new songs on there. But it's just good to have it out. We're all really proud of it. We're really grateful for what it's done for us. The EP launch night sold out, which was amazing. I think it's just the start of something big, and that's what we hope. We just need to kick on from it and just keep producing music like we are, keep putting ourselves out there, and hopefully the world's our oyster.
And Ali, I'll come to you for this one. Have you got any music inspirations that you look up to at all?
Oh, see, again, going back to all of us, we are all so very differently influenced. So I grew up kind of a bit of a basic girl. I did used to love the basic pop stars. I kind of loved like, I say basic, but more well known like Taylor Swift, Ed Sheeran. I grew up loving all of that, and it wasn't till I was sort of exploring my own tastes a bit through university and getting introduced to all these different indie bands. And I started loving a bit more of the older stuff. And um, probably at the moment, like my love artist is Hosier. So I love that kind of strip back and indie nature element. Aurora, I love her. But Josh has been quite a big influence on my music taste at the moment. So he's introduced me to a lot of music, but like Bentley and um, uh, Steve Wilson. I feel like I'm saying his name wrong. Which again just sort of like brings into a bit of Josh's prog element. But when it comes to playing the music, I do love the kind of stretched ambience of my instrument and what I can create with that, with the sound. So that actually comes from a lot of the orchestral stuff I used to do. I think definitely the wider strings, and that comes into Jose a lot as well. That's where I kind of have a bigger love for how I can use my instrument. And we did an acoustic set a couple of years ago now. I think it was at New Hampton Arts Centre. We were doing Community Fest, and we did an acoustic set. And I said to Jack, I said, I'm going to play this on double bass, and it just brought a whole new vibe to what we were playing, and something I definitely want to bring back. But you look at artists who still continue using what are traditionally classical instruments or string instruments into that alternative indie era. It's definitely something we could play with. But yeah.
And Jack, same question. Have you got any music inspirations at all?
Loads. I go through kind of phases, to be quite honest. I mean, when I was growing up, it was sort of a lot of my dad's music, sort of the Kinks, Johnny, Chuck Berry, Johnny Cash, and then sort of grew into what was indie rock at the time, so The Enemy, Pigeon Detectives. And then I went through a bit of a phase where I grew my hair and had that little bit of an emo phase. Started listening to metal and like Trivium, Slayer, Megadeth, and then again came out of that, caught my hair, and went back to sort of an indie mode where I was listening to a lot of Blossoms, Arctic Monkeys, the generic kind of indie bands. I think a lot of the time now I'm listening to sort of new up and coming bands from our area. I mean, the amount of bands in the West Midlands that are top tier. I mean, some of them are doing great. I know you'd mentioned that you'd had an interview in R the other day from the Claws. They're obviously doing amazingly well at the moment. Candid, another great band from the Midlands. I still maintain that Rob Latimer, the singer from Candid, has the best voice on the scene. I think he's unreal. But I think that takes up a lot of what I listen to now. I listen to a lot of local bands, which is great.
Yeah, it's great to see. Indie music is definitely bumping up in the charts, going viral on TikTok, and it's just great to see all these concerts and all these smaller bands just upcoming. And the Isle of Wight, they do a stage where it's just upcoming indie bands. What's your thoughts on that, and how does that help the scene?
It's amazing. I mean, I've had that stage there for 10 years now, and the amount of bands that have gone on to bigger and better things just off the back of the support from this feeling has been incredible, and the support they've showed us over the last sort of 3 years that we've been doing gigs with them has been great. To go from so we played Isle of Wight last year and this year. We had the graveyard shift last year, didn't we, Ali? Sunday morning at 11:05, first band on when everyone hung over. Probably
Rolling out of their
suffering a
tents.
sunstroke. But we had a really, really good slot this year. And there was people queuing out the tent to see us, which was crazy. But the amount of good bands that we saw, because we stuck around, didn't we? We didn't really go to the
Mm.
main stage until I think it was until Sting came on.
Yeah.
We'd stuck around with this feeling tent. Some of the bands that were on there, unreal. Megan Wynn was on, she's great. Spangled, I think, were the headline for that night. They were really good. Sunbeam, another really, really good band. So yeah, the amount of artists that are on that stage and have and will go on to bigger and better things is crazy.
I'm sure you guys will be in that sort of category. So describe your best band moment from touring. What keeps you going when you're on the road?
What's your best moment? I think I know mine.
I've got
What's
to
yours,
think
Ali?
about it. I've got to think. Give me a second.
So for me, um, I think the best moment so far was probably in supporting the Pigeon Detectives. It was at a venue that I've always dreamed of playing. It was at the Institute in Birmingham, which is yeah a venue that I've always dreamed of playing. It's such a lovely venue, and so prestigious as well. Um, but to support a band that I've been listening to since I was sort of 8, 9 years old, um, and I've been going to see them since I was about 11. It was just a surreal moment. And Taylor, who does a lot of our music videos, he came with us and captured footage from the night. And I think there's a clip of me right at the end of the footage that says it's the best day of my life. And I think that really just like cemented it for me. I think it could be topped when we support the enemy in November, but that's still number one for me.
And
I
Ali,
knew
have
that
you
that
thought?
Yeah, I knew that that was going to be yours. That's why I was trying to think of something different because I can't say that many moments have topped that night that we played with the Pigeon Detectives. Probably the closest coming was when we supported Antarctic Monkeys. Just the vibes, everyone's there for the same reason, and it's people who've come out and sometimes they've not even heard of your name. And now they have, and they come to you afterwards and they say, "Oh, we've never heard of you before, but now we can't stop listening to you." And we have so many people messaging us saying how much they enjoyed the music, how much they enjoyed the set. And I think as much as we've carried that support of our local fans and our friends and family, we're so to see that progression of playing those small little pub gigs or small venue gigs in Birmingham to jumping on that stage for the Pigeon Detectives or Antarctic Monkeys in Coventry, like to see that progression in itself is like it's like a long-term win for us. And I think I kind of have like two back and forth moments playing for the Pigeon Detectives and just being backstage with Matt and everyone afterwards, and that was just unreal. Like you kind of feel in the moment that this is what we want to be doing for long term now, playing these stages and being amongst all these incredible artists. Like it's such an honor. But then also just the rush of people liking what we do, and we were at the Coventry at HMV Empire in Coventry. Um, and just to see everyone come forward and say to you like this is the first time we've seen you and you were amazing, and the compliments that come with that, people who say, "Oh, very rare you find a support band that you like just as much as the headline," and whatever it might be, it's just that confidence push, isn't it? And it's knowing that you're doing something right, and reaching out to the right audiences as well. It's behind the scenes for us. It's all about progression and what we need to do for the right audiences, and I think that's just a long-term win for all of us.
And how important is it to get down early and see the support acts? There's been many great supports who've gone on to massive things.
Crucial, absolutely crucial. Um, you see so many grassroots music venues across the country closing, um, but it is support bands that keep these venues afloat because they are the next sort of wave of artists. You've got the headlines for these tours that go on are obviously brilliant, but they're gonna more than likely go on to bigger and better things, and you need to get that next wave of artists coming through. And I mean, we're always big, aren't we? Whenever we play, whether it's a headline show or whether it's supporting someone, if there's another support act on, we're not one of these bands that play and just go. Like we want to stick around. We want to support not only the headline band but the supports as well. Whenever we do a headline show and people ask us what time we're on, I never tell them what time we're going to be on. I always say, well, doors open at this time and the first band's on at this time. because you need to go down and see them because some of these bands, I mean, we had was it 11:15 on with us at our
Yeah,
headline.
yeah.
Amazing. Really, really, really good. I'd never listened to them or got the chance to see them before. They were recommended to us by a friend. He said you need to check these out. When they play, make sure you're in the room for them. And we stood and watched them, and they were fantastic. But it is that like it's so crucial to go down and see support bands. And not only that, if you get there early, you get a better spot. The headline band, so it's a win-win, isn't it?
100%, 100%. Do you guys have a dream sort of venue or festival that you want to play in the future? Obviously, I'm sure Glastonbury is definitely again, but is there any others?
I'm a big download goer. I've been going to Download Festival for years now. And sometimes I do kind of see us on one of the smaller stages at Download, Jack. I really do. I mean, Venga Boys were there this year, so
Yeah, they were, weren't they? Everyone was loving the Venga Boys though, from
I
what I've
think
seen on socials.
yeah, I don't think so much the festival would have to be defined by genre because there's so many artists that go there that are so out of that metal or rock vibe. But we do dip into it, and I think that's where the versatility could work in our favour. But for me personally, just because of how much I love Download and been going to Download for years now, I would like to see us there, to be honest. I think that would be a really, really cool dream for me.
And
So
Jack?
that's probably a bit cliche. I think just anywhere, honestly, like any big venue, I'd love to get a sold out UK tour in places. I don't care what venue. Just I think that'd be great. I think that's kind of the next sort of steps for us. Uh, um, yeah, anywhere. I mean, Glastonbury's kind of it's kind of the pinnacle, isn't it? Realistically, getting to play like one of the main stages at Glasgow. But yeah, anywhere, anywhere. I just love playing music, and that is a really cliche answer. It's probably not the answer you were looking for, but I'm going to sit on the fence.
No, that is perfect. We're going to end it with some quick fire questions. So these are probably one word answers. Some of them a bit more. But what's your favorite pre-show snack?
Ooh,
Subway.
we do usually have a Subway, don't we?
Subway.
Your favorite indie anthem?
Oh, that's tricky. Uh, Something by Blossoms. Anything.
Anything? And Ali, what's yours?
I don't know. First thing that came to my head was Iris by Goo Goo Dolls, but it's probably
That's a
not.
good
But that
shout,
is up
though.
there.
That's a
It
good
is up
shout.
there, but it's not my favourite. It was just the first that came, but I'm going to go with that.
Guilty pleasure artist.
Ooh, Bewitched. Bit of Celavi.
Hobo Johnson.
The first album that you bought.
American Idiot by Green Day.
I don't even remember. I mean,
Got a few there.
whichever one's on the top. I haven't got a clue. I can't remember. I think it must have been something of a Taylor Swift vibe. I think it was like when I first got a record player and I wanted to buy all my favorites. So it must have been something Taylor Swift, but probably I can't remember.
The most underrated band in the UK right now.
Underrated. Blossoms.
Awesome.
Your answer for everything.
Honestly, I think Blossoms are so underrated. Like they should be headlining festivals.
All they do is
Um,
support people as well. It's weird to see.
oh, I don't know. I don't know. Uh, I hate quickfire questions. I panic.
Yeah, we're not good at quick fire, are we? We
No
never
one
are.
is. Everyone always struggles. They say quick fine, and they're like, and then like 5 minutes later they give the answer. Your dream 3-day festival headliners.
Oh,
Ooh,
It can be anyone.
Arctic Monkeys, Blossoms, Bruce Springsteen.
Very good.
Oh, oh, I can't top that.
Sorry.
I'm going to agree, Arctic Monkeys. I mean, they're always up there. Arctic Monkeys. Um, I'm gonna. I don't even know if she's still going at the moment, but I'm still loving Lizzo. Um, there's something about Lizzo which I think is actually a bit of a guilty artist as well. It's that funk. I think it's the funk element to it, which I kind of went for a bit in my university years. So Lizzo, Arctic Monkeys, two very different artists, and just because I adore him, Jose, I can't get enough of him.
Very good. And if you could steal the talent of one other artist, who would it be?
Keith Richards guitar playing, I think.
Jack, your reaction's the same every time. It's always like, ooh, any question I ask.
It's small questions, honestly. It gets me nervous. I'm shaking.
Ali, what about you?
Uh, Ben Ezra. So Ben Ezra is a double bass player, and I've followed him a long time on YouTube. And he's just, I don't know how he does what he does with the double bass, but he does it. He manages to use it as both a bass and a percussive element. And he's written all these pieces, and he's like part slapping the body of the bass or slapping the string, and he creates this whole new element to double bass playing which I'd never seen before. And I've tried it, and I look so sapped when I do it. I really wish I could do what he does. I'm gonna have to work hard, I think.
And if you had to recommend one other person for me to interview, who would it be?
Rob from Candid. He'll have some really good insight. I think if you can get in touch with him, Rob Latimer, we'd
Definitely give
recommend
it a
him.
go. 100%. Ali, what about you?
I'll recommend my best friend. She's in a band called Head Shrinkers, Scarlett Churchill. They're actually recently they Friday night they did their very last Head Shrinkers gig because they're going to be moving forward with a new name, and there's a lot of new exciting things coming for them. So I would definitely recommend Scarlett and Gang.
That'll be a very interesting one. Yeah, I'll definitely try and follow up on those two. That is the end of this interview, though. Thank you very much for both coming on here. Your answers are brilliant, and it's great to get some sort of insight on these upcoming bands.
No, thanks for having
No,
us, mate.
thank
It's
you.
always a pleasure.
Perfect. Thank you very much again, guys, and good luck in the future.
Thank
Nice one,
you.
mate. Thank you.